Hey, what's good, man? It's your main man, Oz, not the wizard. We back at it again, man. Today, we got a pretty cool project today. We are making a NAS storage. If you don't know what that is, it's like a cloud storage, but it only exists on your network. So any device on your network can access this storage wirelessly, whether that's your computer, your phone, your TV, all of it. So the main thing we're going to be using is a Raspberry Pi. So here in a quick sec, I'm going to go through all the components. You can get all of these from your local micro center. Um, so yeah, let's get to it. So let's get to it. The first piece you're going to need is the Raspberry Pi 5. Please get the 5 because it's compatible with the NVMe base. Then we have our cooler for the processor. This just regulates that temperature for you. Here's our dual M.2 NVMe base. They have the single one, but I got the double because I'm splurging. And then we got the 1 terabyte NVMe because I'm on a budget. And then we just have a base. This ain't necessary, but this just helps you keep it off hot surfaces. So would suggest that. And then finally we have our SD card, which we're gonna load our operating system on and then input that into the Raspberry Pi. So let's get to that. So first you're going to pull up the Raspberry Pi imager, pick the device. For the OS, we're actually going to go to other, and then we're going to do the light version of OS. And then as far as the storage, make sure you pick that SD card. You're going to hit Control Shift X, enable SSH. Here you're going to create your own username and password. So you're going to use this throughout the process. You can name it whatever you want. You can misspell it just like I did. You can do whatever you want. So you got your username, you got your password. And then we're just going to save it. Click next. Click yes. Do not click no. Click yes. This is going to save all those configurations you just set. And then we're going to just let that load. And so while that's loading, next up, we're gonna actually put together the server. So that's my favorite part of this. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, now that that's done, we're gonna take our NVMe base here. We're gonna insert this cable here. The packaging actually comes with this cable, so you don't have to worry about buying this separately. You're gonna snap that in there. Make sure you put this on first because it does get snugged under the SSD cards. Then you're gonna insert your NVMe. All right, you're gonna just click it in there, and then you're gonna secure it with a screw here. And then once we got that up in there, yeah, this is our NVMe base. So next we're gonna go ahead and attach the Raspberry Pi 5 to it. So let's go ahead and just mount it on there. Let's put some screws in this thing. Yeah. And there we go. We now mounted it on top. So now we're just going to insert that SD card if you haven't done so already. Again, this is where our OS is on. So let's go ahead and insert it. And then after that, that cable that goes from the base to the Raspberry Pi, let's just go ahead and connect that. It is a little tricky because that cable's so short, but you can get in there. So this is just the cooler. We're gonna go ahead and place this on the processor. As you noticed in the previous clip, it was attached, but just kind of want to include this just in case you've never assembled a Raspberry Pi before. So go ahead and just get those plastic screws there and just pop them in. So they should align with the holes perfectly. And then we have our Raspberry Pi. So next what we're gonna do is we're going to take off this cap here. And then this is just to plug in the cooler. So let's go ahead and do that. So the hardware is complete. Now we're going to go ahead and just plug this into our router using the Ethernet cable like this. And then we're going to go to our web browser. We're going to input our IP address in the browser here. And then here we're going to go to devices, and then we're going to find the IP for the Raspberry Pi. All right, so we got that. We're going to input this command here to actually get into our Raspberry Pi. So we have our SSH, and then we have our username at the IP address of the Raspberry Pi. So hit enter. You see the password comes up. Go ahead and insert the password that you created when installing the OS. All right, and now you see we're in. So what we're going to do next is we're just going to make sure that our Raspberry Pi is updated. So go ahead and put in sudo apt update and sudo apt upgrade. And that's just going to remotely upgrade our Raspberry Pi. And so after this, once this is finished, we're going to actually install what's called OpenVault. That's the application we're using to manage our storage. So you can actually get this command from the GitHub link that I pasted at the bottom, or you can Google OpenVault GitHub link. Go to the script installation and find that wget script there, and you can just copy and paste it. So I already have it installed, so we're going to skip to the next part. Once that is installed, go ahead and open up a new command, because now everything is installed and updated. And again, let's tap into that. All right, enter your password. And then from here, we're actually going to go to our browser, and we're just going to input that IP address here. So this is the IP address of the Raspberry Pi. This is going to take us to our application where all our storage is. So in order to log into OpenVault, we have our default login. So we're going to type in admin as the username, and then the password should be, I forgot it, but I wrote it down on the bottom of the screen for you. We're going to hit user settings real quick. Let's go ahead and change that password so we don't have the default password. And then we're also going to put this in dark mode because I'm a badass. All right, we're going to go to our disk, and this is just confirming that we do see our NVMe drive. We see that is there. Now we can go to our next step to set up. So let's go to file systems. I already have this set up, but you may see nothing here. So what you're going to do is you're going to click this plus sign, hit the ext4, and then go ahead and hit that drop down, and you should see your device. Mine's already selected, so mine's not there, but you should see your SSD card, and then make sure you hit this mount button here. So once you do that, you should see like a save all changes pop up here. Make sure you do that. And then next we're going to go to shared folders, and this is just us setting up our main directory for our NAS storage. So I'm gonna name it NAS, and then go ahead and select that NVMe drive. And then actually I'm gonna name it NAS 2 because I actually have one set up. So I'm gonna just name this NAS 2 and then save it. Save changes. All right, we're looking all good there. One thing I want to point out is our permissions here. So you'll notice these are the users. You can set the permissions for the different users. If you want to create a separate root and just only give certain people certain access, you can do that here. But this is where you do all your access, your permissions. So all right, so here we're going to actually start setting up our services. So you have NFS and SMB. I believe SMB is Windows and Mac, and NFS is Linux. But either way, for both of these, you're just going to set them both up. All you have to do is enable it. And then in shares, you just want to link that main directory that you just created. And then for client, if you look under it, they give you the IP address that you can fill in. Just put that in. Just copy and paste that in. So all right, we're going to save that. And then save those changes. And then let's go ahead and do the same thing for SMB. So go to settings. We're going to enable this. We're going to save it. And then we're going to go to shares. I believe this one you only have to put in that main folder. No need to put a client in. So let's go ahead and save that. Apply changes. All right, we got those saved. So next, what we're going to do is I want to show you guys the user groups. So we have by default there. Just know if you add another user, you probably need to copy and paste those to the new user. So next, I'm going to go ahead and just connect this storage to my phone. So on your phone, you're just going to go and open the Files app. On the iPhone, at least, you're going to open the Files app. Go to connect the server. You're going to type SMB. I believe you do SMB for an Apple computer as well. And then you're going to do :/ and then you're going to put the IP address of your Raspberry Pi. So once you do that, you just want to enter in that username and that password that you created when installing the OS. And then you shouldn't have any problems. That should log you in. So as you can see, I have a terabyte of data. I have my folders and everything set up here. So there you go. That's it. Please subscribe.